the concept of Claudine, it's a concept of Neo French Brasserie. You think about sole meunière, you think about table-side steak tartare, think about floating island, think about a steak flambé, think about a crêpe soufflé. You know, this kind of very iconic, classic French dishes. My name is Julien Royer. I'm the chef and owner of restaurant Odette. That is the first project in Singapore. The second one is Claudine, is the name of my mom. This is opened in 2021, 2 years ago. We do a lot of tableside service, which is also kind of very signature from this restaurant. It's about 35 to 40 dishes a la carte. There is no tasting menu. The idea here is really for people to choose what they want to eat. We try to keep things quite classic, quite traditional, really focus on good ingredients, good technique, good execution, and good flavor. As you can see here, we are in an old chapel, in an old church. When we took over, we spent almost a year of renovation to make it a space that is comfortable, that is warm, that is engaging. So a place really that is versatile, a place where people can come to eat in 45 minutes if they want to. If they want to have a steak tartare and a glass of red wine, that's fine. If they want to be with friends, because we have a lot of sharing dishes as well, table of 8, 10, you can come here and spend 3-hour lunch. It's really versatile. We want to be not too exclusive, but open to everybody. So far, it's been good. You know, it's been a good ride. It's been a good 2 years. We are looking forward to the next phase of the project, which will be a beautiful terrace on the outside, where people can just come and chill, have some snacks, have some beers, have some cocktail, have some wine. So again, we really want to emphasize of the versatility of the project, and it's a place that you can come with your kids, you can leave your pets outside. It's this kind of spirit that we really want to create. When you eat here, you will notice that you will find a lot of things on the menu that are really traditional dishes from French cuisine, from different regions of France, but we always try to make it to the perfection and elevate it somehow with a bit of contemporary taste by using modern technique of cooking. So the result, I think, is quite interesting. It's a mix between really classic dishes that are executed with great product with a touch of contemporary cuisine. So I will give you an example of something that we do here. For example, that's really popular. We do a kind of bouillabaisse. I won't lie, you know, it's not a classic bouillabaisse because, first of all, bouillabaisse, when you go to south of France, in Marseille, it's a religion, so you cannot. So it's our take on bouillabaisse. The flavor, I think, is very authentic of a bouillabaisse. We have some, according to the season, of course, it's changing, but right now we put some octopus, some scallop, some red gurnard, and we do a classic bouillabaisse sauce that we serve with rouille and garlic crouton. So the spirit is there, the flavor is there, but the approach of the cooking, it's a little bit more, I would say, contemporary and refined, to have something that is maybe a little bit less heavy, but still rich and bold in terms of flavor and substance. So another example that is a very classic and representative dish from what we cook here at Cuisine is a chou farci, or stuffed cabbage. This is a dish that is really popular in Massif Central, in central part of France, particularly in my region, in my department, in Cantal and Puy-de-Dôme. It's a very iconic dish. So every household, every farm, every family will have its own recipe. So when I did ask the recipe to my mom, okay, because her chou farci is very tasty, very nice. So I wanted to try to replicate it. So, but when you ask recipe to your mom, it's like, you know, a ladle of this, 100 grams of this, 2 spoons of this. It's not very precise. So we did many tries before we opened. We finally managed to get close to the original taste, but I wanted to kind of elevate it or refine it a little bit, so we put some foie gras instead. But my mom never put foie gras because first she said that it's too expensive. So it's a chou farci that is really authentic in terms of flavor. You will find some layer of foie gras inside for the gourmandise and for the, you know, for the appeal, because I know people in Singapore and in Asia love foie gras. So we have this, again, very traditional dishes that has been, I think, elevated by the use of foie gras, but also the way the chou farci is built, and it's actually one of the most popular dishes here at Claudine. Yeah.
Hello, I'm Julien Mercier. I'm the executive chef of Claudine restaurant in Singapore for about 2 years now, since we opened the restaurant. So I come from France. I come from the Forez region, which is a little valley between Saint-Étienne and Rouen. I worked in many places around the world during my life. I was living for the last 15 years in São Paulo, Brazil, leading a lot of projects over there. I've been chef of restaurant, I've done some consulting, been chef of big hotels. After 15 years there, I was thinking that my time over there was getting to an end. And then Julien, who is a long-time friend, we worked together in the Caribbean 20 years ago, maybe even more. He told me about this beautiful project in Singapore. I was on holiday in the region and he asked me if I would like to be part of it, and of course I had to accept. Since the beginning, Julien told me about Claudine as a Neo Brasserie, but he would like a restaurant that is based on generosity, on sharing, and a word that is very difficult to translate in English. It's called canaille. Canaille means a little kid that is a bit naughty, you know, but in a good way. And when we talk about this, about the food, it means something that is very, very generous, very yummy. So this is our crepe Suzette recipe. So we have our crepe over here, so classic crepe soufflé. We fill it with a pastry cream with some Grand Marnier and some orange zest inside. Okay, so now is the time we need to flambe the recipe with Grand Marnier, of course. Give it a good swirl. And we have our classic Suzette sauce that will come up. And now on the side of the stove, we're gonna have to baste our crepe. So this we also do in front of the customer. So we add a bit of a show to the recipe and they love it. So the sauce just need a bit of butter in it, some organic orange that we're gonna just reheat in the sauce. Very shiny, very yummy. And over here we have a bit of orange zest confit. Just a final baste. And this is our crepe Suzette, so half Suzette and half crepe soufflé. One thing that is very important for us as a big part of Julien Royer philosophy is the produce. So this is our first step in a new dish. First we source the product. So most of our product we source them exactly the same way they would at Odette. Just we work them in a different way. And then after we work on how we can make this ingredient taste amazing. We don't really think too much in the concept of the dish, but more about taste, taste and taste. Flavor, flavor, flavor.
Duck, chicken liver, chicken breast, foie gras, and this is figatelou. So it's a sausage from Corsica that has some pork liver inside. Very delicious.
So I've been using now this knife, the long Michel knife, for quite some time, and I kind of really like it. It's very good for me, especially because it's long and has those little marks, so the flesh of the fish doesn't stick to the knife when I want to slice it, which is very nice. So I usually use it for fish sashimi or our seaweed carpaccio, for example. Plus the durability and the sharpness of the knife, it's very nice. I recently received a peeler, which is also very beautiful as a peeler. First of all, never see a peeler so beautiful in my life. And it's very sharp and it's still very thin skin on the lemon. So I'm now using it to peel the zest of the orange, lemon, limes to make a very nice fine julienne after. It's really, really beautiful. It doesn't take the white part out, which is really nice. And my favorite that I received recently is this very small office knife, we call it in French. And you can use it for almost everything. It's a very easy, very light, super well balanced knife, and it's also a very beautiful design. And this is something that I have to say about all the products. The design of it is really beautiful, and it's very nice to work with. And for this mandoline that I also just received, apart of course of being also very sharp and very beautiful, one thing I really like about it that is very difficult to find on a tool like this, it's very easy to take apart, to clean it. So everything, all the little pieces, very easily you can remove them, and it just put back also together. It's super easy, so it's very nice to stay sharp. So I've been using some of the product of Michel for quite some time. I really trust their quality and the craftsmanship in this product. It was very nice to discover new products, and I'm looking forward to try them better and discover new product of the range.
When we first opened, the idea for Claudine was to fill this gap in the market that we have in Singapore. Somewhere between your daily bistro and daily brasserie and your fine dining. In between, for French cuisine, there were not many things. And that's one of the reasons that we decided to open Claudine. During COVID-19, when we had to close Odette, we launched a product called Odette at home, which was basically simple French recipes that are done very well in terms of execution and product. And I was very skeptical at first, but it did work very well. And I realized that people are ready to experience quality cooking, but in a simple way. And this is how Claudine is born, for these two reasons: the success of Odette at home, and the fact that I thought that in Singapore, really, between very simple bistro and fine dining, there were not many things. We want people to feel welcome and for them to enjoy a great meal. It is as simple as that.